On page 4-9 in our notes, we are going to look at graphing linear inequalities. So we've seen them on graphs already. We've talked about their slopes and their y-intercepts. We've written their equations. Now we're going to be given the equation and then we graph it. So step 1 on page 4-9, this is already done for us, so we don't have to worry about that. So we're going to emphasize steps 2, 3, and 4 in this video. The first thing you do is graph the y-intercept. So if it's a plus number, then you go up that many. If it's a minus, you go down that many and put your dot there. That's your starting point. From there, you count rise over run for your slope to find more points. If possible, I want you to put 3 points on your line. If it doesn't fit on the graph, then it only needs to be 2. But if possible, I would like you to put 2 points on your graph. Make sure you use a ruler so you have a straight line and you put arrows on both ends like it says in step 4. So let's take a look at number 1. The first number we start with is the plus 5. So that means I start and count up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where I start for my line. Right off the bat, our slope is a little bit tricky. There's no number in front of x, so I can put a 1 and then also over 1. So I have -1 over 1. So usually the question is, does the negative go with the top number, the bottom number, or both? Well, it can't go with both because that would simplify to positive 1. So my answer is always, it's up to you. When you have a negative slope, I always go down first. So a negative slope means you go down and right. So down 1, right 1 would go there. You could go down and right again. You also, if you look at this one, this would be up and left. So any of those 4 points, as long as you have 3 of them, that's all that matters. Then you're going to use your ruler to connect them to make your straight line and put your arrows on the end. Again, you can make sure, put your lines on the end to make sure it does make an N. If you would have counted the wrong direction, let's say you went up and over this way, let me use the highlighter. If you would have went this way and this way, then your line would have been going up instead of down. Number 2. This is the number you start with, the B. So -1 means I start down 1. So some people put their arrows to show them down 1. That's up to you. Rise over run, -3 over 1. So you start back at your y-intercept, go down 3 and right 1. So I cannot go down 3 again. I don't want you to add extra parts to the graph. Go back up to your y-intercept and go up 3 and left 1. Connect your dots. Put your arrows on the end. Number 3, we start up 2 for our y-intercept. Then our slope is 2 over 5. Rise 2, run 5. So up 2 and right 5. I could go up 2, but I couldn't go right 5. So I go back to where I started. Now I go down and left. So down and left are both negative, and a negative divided by a negative is a positive. That's why you can count in both directions. Connect your dots, put your arrows. Number 4, we start up 3. So count up 3 and put your dot. Again, with a negative slope, you have a negative in the front. It can go top or bottom, but it cannot go both. All right, so I usually with the negative slopes go down and then right. So down 1, right 4. We can also go up, which is our positive, which means we have to go left, which is negative. Again, make sure you're actually, when you connect your dots, you're going down from left to right since you have a negative slope. One thing you might want to put somewhere on your notes is that a positive slope means you can go up and right, or you can go down and left. Those are your two directions. For a negative slope, you can go down and right, or up and left. Number 5, we're going to start by going up 6. So normally for a slope of positive 2 over 1, we would go up 2 and right 1, but we can't. So that's why we need to know how to go both directions. Instead of going up and right, I need to go down 2 and left 1. Down 2 and left 1. So if you're not sure if you did that correctly, since you had to go the opposite direction, start back at this one, go 1, 2 over 1, and you still have a positive 2 for your slope. Number 6, we start down 5. Again, for a negative slope, normally I go down and right, but I cannot. So I need to go up 3 and then left 2. Again, let's say that I went up and right and connected this way. You should see right away, oh, that's not a negative line, so I need to go the opposite direction. So up and left, up 3, left 2 to get negative 3 over 2 as my slope. And you can see when you connect the dots that you do have a negative line. Now, these last few, we'll get 7 done. There's no plus or minus, so you can always put plus 0. You can't put plus 1 because that would have already been there. Plus 0 means you don't have a y-intercept, so you start at the origin. Negative 4 over 1 means I go down 4 and right 1, up 4 and left 1. Connect our dots, put the arrows on. Now, 8 and 9 are not in slope-intercept form. So step 1 did say to put them in slope-intercept form. If you can tell which one is your slope because it's multiplied by the x, you don't have to change it. So if you can look at number 8 and say, oh, I know I need to start down 3, and then my slope is 5 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It won't fit, so we can only do 2. Then that's fine. Okay. If it helps you, you're going to want to switch it. Y equals 5x minus 3. So you do not have to do that. Just don't get in the habit of saying, oh, the first number is always your slope. It's based on which one is being multiplied by the x. So this one only has 2 dots, which again, if that's all that fits, that's fine. Otherwise, I would like you to put 3. Connect your dots, put your arrows. Same thing with number 9. If you can tell that 1 is your y-intercept, so you just start up 1, and then negative 6 over 5 is your is your slope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not going to fit going the other way, so just 2 again. So you can do that without switching it. If you do want to switch it, make sure you realize the 6/5 needs to be negative and the 1 needs to be positive. You can't just flip them around the subtraction sign. You need to keep the 6/5 negative and the 1 positive.